is the fact we can never seem to adjust the seating arrangement just
Forget the
right.
seating arrangement. The lighting's terrible in this room.
I know it's because you didn't turn on the lights.
I turned on all the lights.
You didn't turn on all the lights. You missed
Not the
one.
ones that matter. Tell me if this fixes. Whoops.
You turned on as much. Pull the lever. Wrong lever.
I mean, technically, the wrong liver happened in the movie. Remember, if you know what we're talking about. Anyways. So what I was talking about, Supergirl also gets shot in the comic with the arrows, but it doesn't affect
Bang.
people. Okay, but it only affects animals. That's what the comic explains. Now, the movie, technically speaking, does a little bit better of a job of
because the arrows are laced with kryptonite.
No. Actually, it was just poison.
I'm saying the movie arrows were laced with kryptonite.
Well, yes, but the movie does a little bit job explaining the technology in the universe, or rather, it kind of fixes that narrative in a little bit. But I will still complain about, because in the comic it explained that certain planets had many little bus stops, right?
You have to remember, in the comics, while they both may have been shot, in the movie, Krypto was the only one shot by the poison. But later, Supergirl gets shot by a different type of arrow laced with kryptonite.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of standard star plot.
But that would be so funny if Kronk was wait, who says that? Does anyone see that, or is it just abridged?
No,
I think it's
Jotaro says that to Dio during their final confrontation.
Oh, okay. So that'd be funny if Jotaro had the bill of Kronk. So what you say?
I mean, he's not exactly far off. He just needs a bit more of the chin.
Okay. Anyways,
but, the point I'm trying to make is that the arrows Supergirl gets shot with are the kryptonite-laced ones. Oh yeah, by the way, 5 minutes are up. The planet's coming to an end.
I do want to mention something about that. I want to
pirates.
Yeah, the tech pirates. Now, granted, I'll give the movie some credit. In the comic, it said that according to the girl, which by the way, in the comic, spoilers for those who haven't read the comic, right? In the comic, it simply states that this is basically the way it's written. She's older. She's telling it as if she's telling it to her young ones or someone as an older lady, right? So this story happened in her past. She's just retelling the story
in the future,
like it's Titanic. The movie where they meet this old lady and they're like, "Well, it's been 84 years."
Well, you whippersnappers, if you know anything about tragedy, back in my day, we had boats.
Yeah, this doesn't happen.
This one boat I was on was called Titanic, and you see, everyone was calling it an engineering marvel or something along those lines.
They were trying.
It was supposed to be completely unsinkable. Nothing would ever cause it to sink.
I think there was a conspiracy.
Mother Nature had other plans, because once that ship went straight north, it hit the iceberg, and this was another back to the drawing board moment for mankind, because this was another point to Mother Nature. It was another one of those instances.
One second, let me have to back this up. We're back. Now continue your joke. You can continue your joke. Sorry about that.
Essentially, there was another one of those moments where mankind had to go back to the drawing board and say, damn you, nature, we'll be back once engineering is ahead of the game.
Now, anyways.
And then the little whippersnappers that are listening to this old lady ramble, it's sad when they get old.
Anyways,
I mean, no disrespect to any old people out there, okay? I have a grandmother, I love her very much, okay? But I will be the first one to admit that I do believe she's going a bit senile. I'll see myself out.
No, get back here.
Okay. Chat or comment section, whichever.
Visuals are
Anything. I just wanted to.
Weather.
It must have been the wind. It cast the dream. A spear pierced my shield.
All right, I'm back again. Sorry, they're having a spotty connection here, so sorry about this. Okay, anyways, going back to Supergirl, going back to the comic and whatnot. There was a dragon, a very colorful dragon that could eat metal.
Yep.
So they replaced that with techno pirates or whatever. And there was a moment where she takes a red pill because apparently there's also drugs that also color. If Superman takes a color coded drug, it's like red.
You take the blue pill and you can figure out all. Let's go back to your daily life, or you take the red pill and I can show you exactly just how far down the rabbit hole you can go.
Well, apparently the red pill for Supergirl, according to the comic, if she takes a red pill, it's apparently
any red pill.
I think it's like red kryptonite pill or something like that.
Okay, because she better stay away from Tylenol.
But basically what it does is that it makes her like a monster, or it's just a quick boost of her power, something like that. Or at least that's how it is explained. Comic that I read. Anyways, so so you had this colorful moment where her hair's flowing, she's out in space, and there's no, there's a dragon, and we don't see her fight the dragon. That's one thing I will say that this movie does have a plus side on. Is like we see her fight the pirates, right? We see her fight a lot. We don't get
to see the dragon.
Yeah, we don't see, but I feel like that would have made the movie a little either A, fight the dragon and do a little bit better than the comic in that regard. Anyway.
The wind dragon, bro.
Now I'm done complaining about Supergirl. Let's move on to something that's more important.
About a menace, a threat, a danger on our street.
Dr. Alan Grant. Don't worry, we're doing for slapstick, so don't worry about it.
I will admit this does need to be addressed for everyone in the Jurassic Park community. And before we get started with our Spider-Man debate, unfortunately, the infamous Dinosaur Man, or not infamous, the legendary Dinosaur Man.
He's played other roles, but the most more iconic.
His iconic role as Dr. Alan Grant, the legendary actor Sam Neill, has unfortunately passed away at the age of 78. He died after beating cancer. After he was finally cleared of it, he died at the age of 78 from pneumonia.
And it sucks. And it was exhaustion, I think.
Pneumonia.
It was pneumonia, and
he just got tired of fighting it all.
It was either an ex-wife or someone that was close to him at the moment. They said he died to pneumonia and pneumonia. I know pneumonia and I think it was like exhaustion or something.
It's possible.
And he did like act. He did act in like 4 movies. 4 movies. The Supernova, Godzilla, whatever movie.
Supernova, Godzilla X Kong Supernova will be our final. It'll be the final hurrah with Sam Neill. It'll be his final film that we ever get to see him in.
And 3
was in he was in Hunt for the what was it called? Hunt for the Beastkin.
We'll talk about during the Supernova because this conversation will definitely come back again.
But we just wanted to bring it to y'all's attention because we know a lot of people grew up watching Sam Neill's performance, not just in Jurassic Park, but in the other numerous roles he played as. And I believe he was also in Breaking Point and Escape, the one Escape movie where he played at the doctor, the veterans. That prison that the main character had to escape.
It's the Escape Plan?
Yeah, Escape Plan. He was the doctor in Escape Plan. He was also in Horizon Point, I believe.
Yeah, make a list.
I'll make a list of the several roles Sam Neill played in, and we'll bring that up in the different stream. But for now, many of us feel like we lost a great father figure in the industry of films. He was a great actor. He was a great man in general. Not many of us never got a chance to actually meet him in person. That he actually put a lot of effort into his work just by watching him. Either in the behind the scenes, or if you went to a convention that he was a part of, or even just seeing him in action, like when he was acting on the screen. It's painful to see that he'll no longer be with us. And here's one hat's off to you, Sam Neill.
Maybe not my head. Was give us a second. We're back. What happened here? Give us a second. We're back. Hey, we're back.
The point is, I'm trying to make a lot of the early 2000 movies up until the early 2010s, many movies where there's a clear good guy, bad guy relationship in that film, the bad guy died. Except the 2001 Jurassic Park 3 film. For some reason, that antagonist got away scot-free despite the original ending they were planning on doing, but then they later changed it. Midway through writing the storyboard.
And there's an annoying trope, easy to predict trope throughout those films where there's a superhero, they find the supervillain finds out who the superhero's true identity is. They either die to their own folly, or they get redeemed and they sacrifice themselves to stop a greater evil, right?
Yeah.
The exception to the rule that the movie that breaks this rule, right, is Spider-Man 3. But we'll get to Spider-Man 3 when we get to it.
Well,
yeah, Sandman. He finds out who Spider-Man is, and he doesn't die.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's one part of it, but we'll get to the rest later.
There was this ongoing trope where
there was a butterfly. It was pretty.
Hey, we're back. Sorry for that hiccup again. We keep on having hiccups and whatnot, but that's fine. As I was saying, they kept on having this trope, so where like,
especially in the early movies.
Well, yeah, well, no, it's Spider-Man: Homecoming. They didn't kill the villain with the Vulture.
No, I'm saying the early.
I know that, but they didn't kill the villain with the Vulture. Spoilers for
those who haven't by now.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies where the villain finds out who the hero is,
and either dies because of folly or dies through redemption at the end.
Well, not through redemption. They redeem themselves, and then they go sacrifice themselves to save
the hero and everyone else from a greater risk.
Yeah.
Or just some falling debris. I don't know. The greatest evil of all, the falling piano.
Or they snap out.
No one can stop the falling of the Big Ben.
Or they snap out of their insanity or whatever, or they just outright lose, and since they can't tell anyone, if they do, no one's going to believe them. Then there's no point of telling anyone. Right?
Like with Kingpin in the original Daredevil movie.
Well,
that old Daredevil movie.
Yeah. Anyways, they're arrested.
He couldn't afford to tell anyone about Matt Murdock because he would risk his reputation of losing to a blind man.
He was arrested. No, it's because he was arrested for murder and a bunch of crime.
Well, it wasn't just that. Remember, at the end of the confrontation, when Matt Murdock kicked in the Kingpin's knees, and he fell to his knees, he was all like, I'll tell them all about you. Go ahead. Tell the people of the world how you lost to a blind man. I'm sure that'll make for an excellent headline about how an ex-professional boxer lost to such a thing, or however he phrased it. And that made him clam up because that put his reputation on the line.
It was not just that, but it was also the fact that he was going to be arrested and that was a criminal.
Right. Something about it. It would be there would always be someone who might believe his story. No, what really got him to claim up is he understood that no one would believe that a blind man beat the Kingpin.
And there's also the fact that Daredevil technically does not care. He will die. He wants to die in battle.
What he does.
Well, yeah, he wants to die in battle. He wants to die fighting, right? So if they get
the main core of his character. He's a warrior.
My nose is very itchy. Sorry about this.
He's kind of more unhinged than the Punisher.
Well, no.
In a way, I said he's kind of more unhinged.
Speaking of which, we'll definitely watch that movie where the Punisher is in the Spider-Man movie.
Hey, Spider-Man. What's the new movie called?
One More Day.
One More Day?
No, One More Day. Oh, Brand New Day. Sorry. One More Day is the comic name that nobody likes. Brand New Day is the movie that hopefully everybody will like.
Well, hopefully we'll like it.
Oh, excuse me.
Your mouth, man.
Oh, excuse me.
It's like you spread germs. Anyways,
going back to Spider-Man.
Yes.
Tobey Maguire film. It still holds up to this day despite my problems with tropes, but as a kid watching it, I didn't have those problems with those tropes because it was the first time I was watching those films
have many of those menacing shots that make you like,
Yes.
whoa.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping to see in this next Spider-Man film.
Now, I will say this. Visually, the movie does still hold up to a degree. Does it still hold up, however, as, say, the newer Spider-Man films? Unfortunately, I can't really say I agree. The overall narrative of the film, the OG narrative, it's the narrative that started it all.
This thing's
It's just, how do I say this? I mean, yeah, it follows the plot line of dude gets bit by spider, gains powers, and, loses Uncle Ben, and starts fighting crime to honor his Uncle Ben's memory and the words that he remembers Uncle Ben saying to him, with great power comes great responsibility.
I feel like it's a better adaptation, not overall, but I feel like it's a better adaptation in the sense of like being close to the comic as possible, where the MCU is not. It's trying to do its own thing with Spider-Man, and it's fine to try to do your own thing with Spider-Man, but a lot of people are more attached to the old Uncle Ben story. Not saying that we need to have an Uncle Ben story from Uncle Ben.
In the MCU's, the new MCU Spider-Man story, he's already lost Uncle Ben. Like the newer movies imply that Spider-Man has already learned the lesson of with great power comes great responsibility. He's moved on to newer lessons from newer people. Yeah. He's a different story with different lessons. This Spider-Man movie teaches the original story of Spider-Man learning from the with great power comes great responsibility. And so did Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Both cover the starting story of Spider-Man, whereas the new MCU Spider from his beginning, after the beginning. Like, this isn't Spider-Man all over again. This is Spider-Man progressing from the beginning and going through a bombastic series of events before returning to more grounded roots. That's my take on it, anyways. But returning to this film at the moment, well, I do agree that it does visually hold up. I do think the visuals still are excellent to this day. I feel like some of the performance is a little questionable here and there. There's some moments where Peter Parker kind of acts like a creepy stalker to Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah,
it feels like it does. And there were a lot of moments in the film where you just can't help but feel Peter Parker brings all this nonsense on himself because he just won't talk. Like, imagine if he talked to Harry in the first place, his best friend, and they could have become a crime-fighting pair at the very beginning of this whole mess. But instead, he got jealous, not tell anyone anything.
Well, he's decided to be more mysterious because I feel like
at least with Tom Holland Spider-Man, he had people who knew correct.
Well, he ended with, I think that the lesson with Tom Holland Spider-Man is that he's ignoring what Tony Stark. I think there was a moment where Tony Stark said, "Don't be like me," but he's ignoring that because he wants to be like Tony Stark. And then when everyone
knew to be a good man like Tony Stark.
Well, from what he's seen of Tony Stark, but however, Tony Stark knows that Tony Stark is he's an asshole.
He knows he's an asshole. And
Tony Stark knows.
He doesn't. Neighborhood can't do anything.
Wants to be like what he wants to be what people view as the good side as Tony Stark, or rather
Tony Stark.
Or rather the good side. People only see the good side of Iron Man, and I think that's what the hard lessons that he learns throughout his movies is that here's the problem. Here are all the problems that pile up with all these different things of being Iron Man or being like Iron Man. So like who he is. Oh, he's popular because he hangs out with Iron Man. He tries to be an Avenger. Iron Man's like, yo, take the seat back. And then when he tries to be more like a superhero, right? And treat Spider-Man.
Hold
with materiality, he's going to have to commit to it.
I think the
does not.
third part would have to be. Top shot.
Hello. I know. I'll give me what to fix it. Anyways,
that whole backyard scene where he's talking with MJ at night, and he's talking about how he overheard her folks shouting and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know, it just felt a bit awkward to me. I didn't really like it, but I mean, I understand why they included it. That just all there for me. What was your least favorite scene?
My least favorite scene. I understand why they had it in the film, is to more display the abusive nature of her parents
and argumentative nature. But
and I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm okay with it. It's fine. It also shows us the awkward nature of Peter Parker. He just has a natural awkward. He's just a naturally awkward.
I already said I understood why it was in there. I just don't. I personally don't resonate with
this is not
like
my
that.
Least favorite scene. I don't really have a least favorite scene in this movie, but nothing really stands out as like, oh, this is a bad scene. But it really feels like a detriment. Sorry, I was scratching my nose. Not the clothing, not the behaviors of the teenagers and whatnot. My only problem with the high schoolers or whatever. The only problem with with Peter Parker in the high school scenes is that every single high schooler looked like an adult in their 30s instead of a young adult in their early 20s or in 18s.
Most of them looked like most of them looked like college students or middle-aged adults. They did not look like actual students at a school.
Yeah.
A couple of them looked like they needed to be on the list.
I'll be right back. You go with your favorite scene.
Right. Well, before I get into my favorite scene, I will say this. compared to the newer Spider-Man series, the new Spider-Man movie, this Spider-Man movie doesn't exactly hold up as well. But I can't say, bro, no. And you know I don't, and you know she's not supposed to be in here right now.
Just continue.
Hey, Luna. No, Luna. Yes, Luna. Come here, you. Oh, come here. Oy, oy. Here's Luna, everyone. She's going to be here with me for a bit. But, well, Cat's here. I'm going to just talk about, personally, the old Spider-Man movie. It does visually hold up well. I just think that while it may not be as entertaining as the newer Spider-Man movies, it does hold a certain fondness. Like there's a bit of nostalgia there that fans can enjoy. While it may not be the best, it is still an enjoyable. No, you're not going anywhere.
Just let go.
No, because I know what she'll do. Hey, girl.
Just let her roam around for a bit.
Anyways, my favorite scene from Spider-Man definitely has to be the rooftop conversation between Spider-Man and the Goblin.
It's saying Spider-Man. I like how casual he was about it.
And I do enjoy that too. I like the difference of opinion of the Goblin. You know, he presents Spider-Man with this decision. He appeals to Spider-Man. He's saying, you know, present yourself as a hero to these people. But the one thing they will never get tired of more than a hero is watching the hero fall. You know, they enjoy that.
I'll take it.
Why does she always jump on the shelf with the cards? Get down.
Then maybe you should move them somewhere else.
No. Because this is the best place for them. Anyway, stop
it. Let me take what?
I asked you to take care of her earlier. Anyways.
Ow!
Watch out, there's a cord there. Anyways. She keeps jumping on the shelf with the cards. She keeps knocking them over. Anyways. The rooftop conversation between the Goblin and Spider-Man is ultimately an interesting one. One where the villain is actually right and he holds a decent point. People will eventually get tired of Spider-Man and all his new shininess and his ability to do good. He's amusing for now because but once the people lose interest in Spider-Man, they'll turn their backs on him. And sure enough, the narrative goes in favor. Like almost the very next day, Spider-Man is branded as someone who's in cahoots with the Goblin. And people are demanding to have the. But that is overall my favorite scene from that. It's my favorite conversation from that movie. Just the Goblin being how he's presenting his argument to Spider-Man. There's not really a good counter to that argument other than Spider-Man just saying, I'm not going to murder anyone. And the Goblin just says, fine, you can stick to playing the part of the hero. But, you know, will all this unwanted destruction be worth it in the end? Think about it. And he leaves him to think about it, which means he genuinely wanted to give Spider-Man the offer. And he was right. Technically, people did turn on Spider-Man after all the craziness of his abilities and whatnot died down. And
but he only says this and he only tries to make a deal with him because he doesn't want to run these hands with Spider-Man.
Oh no, he wanted to run those hands. You can see how badly he wanted to run those hands.
No. Villains are threatened by an opposing force. And if Spider-Man continued to be an opposing force who could potentially defeat him in combat, right? It would be better if they are on the same side. You go my way, you go your way, business is business.
But it wasn't just that, though. There was a certain truth to the Goblin's logic. And he was right. He could have very easily just killed the Spider-Man right then and there. But he wanted Spider-Man to join him willingly. Because the Goblin knew that if Spider-Man so wanted to, Spider-Man could very well have his cake too. But the Goblin, they both were men of great power who could accomplish great things together. Irresponsibly and whatnot. However, Spider-Man didn't allow for him to take the easy route. Plus, he was already committed to following the path of Ben lay before him.
Plus, New Yorkers are fickle.
But the Green Goblin, is not his approach, but his argument was valid. People did eventually get tired of the Spider.
Yeah, but again,
and they did turn on him for a time.
But again, the same thing. Like I said earlier, the New Yorkers are fickle.
I mean, it's
because there's many.
It's people in general.
Well, I know it's people in general, but when it comes to that many people in New York, and when word gets around really quickly, right? There is more. I feel like city folk. I feel like city folk are more fickle with their emotions because there's so many of them. There's so many people talking to each other about whatever's happening in New York. Emotions can get high. And when you're in a city, especially when you're sitting, there's a lot of peer pressure. When everyone is saying the same thing, everyone's in an agreement.
Well, it wasn't just that.
Well, I know that. I'm talking about like the psyche of the city. So but when you're in a rural or a suburban area, or urban, suburban, and rural. Sorry, when you're in an area where there's not a city. I'm tired. It is getting late a little bit. Yeah, it's getting very late for us. For those who go to bed or just not waking up or whatever, depending on where you are and the time zones and whatnot. Anyways,
point I'm trying.
But anyways,
that's my favorite scene because of the villain actually presented a good case, and there is a valid logic to the madman's madness, to the argument he presented. And that's rare nowadays. You hardly find villains in movies anymore who can just come up to the hero and say that. Just say what's on their mind. Propose an alliance of sorts and just explain why. It isn't just because,
Tell me why.
it isn't just because I desire your strength or your abilities are wasted on these people. You should join me instead and we can rule the world together. No, the Green Goblin flat up just presented his case like a businessman. He came up and he said, Spider-Man, you have the power to do whatever you want. So you've chosen the path of the hero. And that's fine for now. You've chosen a good role. But what happens when the people get tired of you and the role you've chosen? The people may think you're shiny, you're new now, but what happens after your time in the limelight comes to an end?
But here's the thing.
They're going to get sick of you. They're going to turn on you. And that's the one thing people enjoy more than a shiny new hero. They love to watch the hero fall. Because he spoke from his experience. He saw himself as the hero once. Norman Osborn, the hero of Oscorp. But he was torn down by the very he thought looked up to him.
But we can also circle this back to the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie, when he first got his powers, what did he do? He knocked down a different hero, Bonesaw.
Bonesaw, yeah.
When people saw that Bonesaw was defeated, despite that, like he was beating up everyone. This guy, throw him in the trash. This guy, throw the trash on him. This guy,
put him on the table.
Throw the table on him. This guy, fold him like a chair. Fold a chair on him.
He was messing people up the show.
And then when the villain, or when someone else, a different hero, came along and beat him up and then showed him his place and whatnot, everyone started cheering for Spider-Man.
They started rooting for Spider-Man instead of Bones.
Yeah. Someone
shiny and new came in, took his place. But I mean, overall, that's the Green Goblin's point, and it's evident. And he's right. He's one of the very few villains who is right. Similar to certain characters like Tai Lung. Feisty, aren't you?
Playing with the cat.
Hey, no. Go on that shelf if they're going to jump on the shelves. Come on.
Over.
Come this way, you. Come on.
Anyways,
keep talking.
Now for my favorite part.
Yeah, talk about your favorite.
My favorite part is when... let me... honorable mention. Going on honorable mention. Why MJ... This is just my editorial, blah, 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 blah. Why MJ... No, why Peter shouldn't date MJ, and it's not because of the editorial or it's not because I agree with the editorial. No, I'm not agreeing with the editorial on this at all, or whoever's the current writer, or whatever the mixture of the two, right?
He totally is.
No, I'm saying that he shouldn't be with MJ in this movie, in this particular movie. He shouldn't be with MJ for one specific reason, and that's because of her red flags. Flag are two. There's an old tradition, and I'm not sure if it's still being kept or whatever, but there's an old tradition where a man has to confess that oh, sorry about that. Anyways, as I was saying about tradition and whatnot, how he squandered every moment and every opportunity he had to tell MJ, to inform MJ about his true feelings. And at the same time, so both this is kind of mostly not kind of. This is mostly Peter Parker's fault. She kept on casting the fish, casting it up. Now, granted, there are moments where like she kind of gave hints of like either me or I hang out with that guy with the fancy new car, and it's his birthday, right? It's me or Harry, right? There was months where she would cast the line for, hey, this is why the comedy Love is War is a thing. I'm not saying they're inspired by Spider-Man the movie, but I'm saying that the drama, the will he say the second thing. Now this for the second thing. Okay. Just make sure we get the first thing out. Anyways, men when we date women, we traditionally approach them with our emotions. We approach them with how we feel. We approach them saying, "Hey, I have feelings for you.
Please go out with me."
Yeah, but a lot of men are unfortunately shy, and sometimes it's women who do that. And nowadays, that tradition's probably I wouldn't say it's no longer a thing, but that tradition's probably mute in the sense that it doesn't matter anymore. So, anyway, moving on from that, the other red sorry, the cat is actually distracting me.
She literally tried to get at the litter.
Anyways, the with MJ is that she, while she's grieving for the death of Norman Osborn and for
Uncle Ben.
and Uncle Ben, because
This is
it's still emotional. Norman Osborn's death is still an emotion. It's still emotional for Peter because Norman Osborn has treated him like a second son. Then he knew Peter visiting Uncle Ben's grave. The moment I say Uncle Ben's grave, sorry, the moment I say it. Anyways, so he's visiting Uncle Ben's grave, right? And so she's spilling out her guts to him, okay, and saying, "Hey, I love you," right?
Meanwhile, me, I knew it. I'm going to read Reggie.
Another thing, she breaks up with with one guy. One guy breaks. Another reason why that is important for him to not accept and offer to date. And he says, "I can't," and it's because he wants to be Spider-Man instead. Okay, no, that is it. But like he feels like that because of the fact that he is Spider-Man, he has a duty to be Spider-Man. But well, it doesn't explain that, but you can kind of get the best that like since he's Spider-Man, he has to be Spider-Man.
It's still a thought
that he might put her life in danger, which it did. Because when people found out that he was Spider-Man, her life was in danger, and his life was in danger. So the movie ended with a huge responsibility on his shoulders that now he has to be responsible if he's going to be Spider-Man. And so he decided to be Spider-Man instead of loving MJ. Well, he decided to be Spider-Man so he can avenge the death of Benjamin because he feels like he has to make amends by helping people, and he can only help people if life right don't can harm and they can attack. So he's chosen to take responsibility and not have MJ find out who he is, and also not risk someone else finding out who he is. So
same way Norman Osborn.
It ends on a sad note, but
bittersweet.
It ends on a sad note, but the positive end of the story is New York now has a hero who will defend it from villains and super villains that want to do it harm or have lost their models or whatever. A little bit at peace with himself because he views being Spider-Man as a sense. The
only real other word.
Yeah, it's ghastly. Of how like their flesh gone, blood, everything gone except bones.
What? Their clothes? What? Muscles? What? Their veins? What?
Their organs?
Their organs? What? But their bones? They're still there. Huh?
Yeah, just completely vaporized.
Completely bleached and fresh.
Yeah, so like it's straight down to the bones. Getting back to it. I remember they had their fire. But then again, he's the only Green Goblin we ever had. I'm talking about live action. The same thing goes with you've lost us for a complete minute, and we're sorry about that. And I wish we could somehow control the weather and just choke it out of the sky. Anyways, but that actually is
trademark. We are working on a weather device.
But I feel that wraps up this stream by the looks of it.
Well, if you enjoyed it,
I'm not done yet.
Not done yet?
Let me make a few announcements because you kept on getting onto my case about this, so let me get it out of the way.
Right then.
Okay, so tomorrow mayhaps I will probably continue our streams or our stream. No, not that one. That's the Zaku. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, this thing. I'll continue this thing. I'll continue the streams on this thing. I think we're on the arms now, and then the head, and the Exodia. Sorry, no, the
Exodia.
The limbs and whatnot. This has been bothering me all stream. It's still crooked. It's still.
I'll fix it before you start.
Well, yeah, I'll fix it later. Yes, that's coming soon. There's just Star Wars. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a Star Wars video that'll be coming soon. I just need to get the figures first, and then have to come over here.
Well, I've got my own Star Wars video that still needs to happen.
Oh yeah, Star Wars live stream that needs to happen. Stay tuned for Ravenwood Reads as well. Don't worry. Now I keep on saying this, but eventually we will get where we need to get to stream the our gaming streams, right? We'll get there eventually. We just need to figure things out, and we need to
We need
buy
to
the
get
right
the things we need.
We need to buy the right equipment. We're almost there. It's just with the current equipment that we were using kept on not working. So yeah, we'll eventually get Dominic to play Resident Evil soon, and then I'll eventually play the James Bond the
007 First Light.
Yeah, the James Bond game 007.
And then when the new Godzilla game comes out, we'll definitely play
Friday
Night Fight.
We'll play Marvel Rivals, some more Marvel Rivals. We'll play more Minecraft. I definitely do want to get onto the Minecraft streams.
I can join you for that.
There's that. There's Minecraft. There's just so much future possibility. Waiting for the future. Stay tuned for more of the Random Fandom. We'll go to Spider-Man 2, likewise, and then Spider-Man 3, obviously. And then Brand New Day, and then we'll continue. And then no, I don't think we have time for Homecoming.
No, I'm saying we'll cover Homecoming, Brand New Day, and then the new movie. We'll cover all of them when we get around to them.
Yeah, and we'll also have. I guess we'll also have the dress. I was good. Yeah. Oh, also in the Ravenwood reads. For now on, we'll just simply use our normal voice for Dr. Alan Grant instead of the. Let me. Well, I will use my normal, not my normal. I'll use my normal Dr. Alan Grant voice instead of doing the Joseph Joestar voice. It was fun, but I feel like
pays homage to.
I feel like the vibe, the atmosphere, the overall respects is where it needs to be deserved. For right now, at least for the moment. But yeah, I'll probably might bring back Joseph Joestar, so Dr. Alan Grant. The version in my when I read his lines or whatever later in the future, but for the next Ravenwood reads, I guess I'll just be normal Dr. Grant for a bit. But anyways, that is all.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like.
That is all.
Down below. If you have thoughts on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and make sure that if you enjoyed this video and you wish to see more like it in the future, hit the subscribe button down below, right down there somewhere. Then you hit the bell icon next to it, and you turn on all notifications so you won't miss a beat here on the Random Fandom with myself, Dominic Rex, and himself, Ravenwood. And until next time, everyone, cheers, much love as always. Tip of the hat, everyone.
Tip of the hat, y'all. Bye-bye.